Only 1% will watch this entire video. Sounds like a challenge, doesn't it? But let me ask you something. What if the moment you clicked on this video wasn't random at all? What if it was a calling? Among millions of videos, millions of voices, somehow this one found you, or rather, you were guided to it. I don't believe in coincidence, and if you're still listening, maybe you're starting not to either. This isn't a video for everyone. It's not for people looking for cheap entertainment or a few minutes of mindless distraction. This is for the 1%, the seekers, the awakened, the ones who feel something stirring inside them that they can't quite explain. You feel it too, don't you? There are nights you can't sleep, not because of caffeine or chaos, but because a deeper part of you is whispering, something isn't right. There is a voice inside trying to rise, a forgotten knowing. A truth older than your name. I want to tell you a story. There was a man named Eli. He worked in a metal factory. Same shift, same routine, every day blending into the next. People didn't really notice Eli. He was quiet, almost invisible. But when night fell, he did something different. He would sit alone, no phone, no music, just breath and presence. And he would repeat silently in his mind a simple phrase, I am more than this body. I am more than this mind. Over and over, not out loud, not for anyone else, just for him, just for something deeper. And then things began to change. Visions came in his sleep, clarity came in his mornings, ideas began forming in his heart like seeds cracking open in light. 2 years later, Eli left the factory. He built a meditation app from scratch. Today, that app serves over 60,000 people around the world. What changed? Was it luck? A stroke of genius? He remembered. He remembered what you're about to remember now. That true power doesn't live out there. It lives in here, and you awaken it with the words you whisper inside. Before we go any further, let me ask one thing. Subscribe to this channel. Not for me, for you. Because the journey you're about to walk doesn't end with this video. It's a path, a remembering, a rebirth. And this space, this community is here to walk with you every step of the way. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you sat alone and truly listened? No distractions, no noise, just you and your breath. Most people never do. And that's why they stay asleep. Because the answers we're chasing, healing, clarity, abundance, they've always lived inside us. But we were never taught how to listen. Meditation isn't just relaxation. It's a doorway, a key, not to silence the mind, but to awaken the self behind it. You don't need to sit cross-legged for an hour. You don't need candles or mantras or music. You need just 1 minute, one sacred phrase, and the willingness to believe it could change everything. Because when you say something silently, with intention, with belief, your entire energy field begins to shift. And that is when the real miracles begin. In the next part of this video, we'll go deeper. You'll uncover ancient wisdom that modern science is only now beginning to understand. You'll discover how thoughts, emotion, and repetition can rewire not only your brain, but your future. And you'll be guided into a meditation that may awaken something extraordinary. But only if you're ready, not to be entertained, but to be transformed. You've already come this far. That tells me you're not like the others. You're part of the 1%. The rare few who remember, or are just about to. You're still here. That means something, because the ones who stay are the ones who are ready. You're not watching this out of boredom. You're here because something inside you knows it's time to wake up. And to wake up, you need to remember. Let's go back. Long before smartphones, before cars, before the digital noise filled every second of our lives, there were temples carved into cliffs, monks sitting in caves, scribes writing sacred texts by candlelight. And what were they doing? They weren't chasing likes or followers. They were doing something far more powerful. They were going inward and speaking silently to the divine. The Buddhists called it mantra. The Sufis called it dhikr. The Christians called it contemplation. And today we call it focused intention. They all point to the same forgotten truth. The words you repeat inside shape the life you live outside. This isn't poetry. It's neuroscience. Let me explain. Inside your brain is something called the reticular activating system, RAS for short. It filters reality. It decides what you notice, what you ignore, and what becomes real for you. It's like a doorman for your consciousness. And the password it listens for? The words you keep saying inside. If you keep saying, I'm always broke, your RAS filters out opportunities and pulls in struggle. If you repeat, no one understands me, your brain finds evidence to prove it true. But if you begin to repeat, even softly, even just inside your breath, I am open to abundance, I am healing, I am loved, and I am love, then your filter changes and reality starts to shift with it. Not because the world changes, but because you do. There was a study done in 2016 at the University of Pennsylvania. They had participants repeat positive affirmations silently every day for 21 days. The result? Decreased cortisol levels, improved memory, and here's the wild part. Brain scans showed increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the center of decision-making and self-belief. In other words, silent repetition made people more confident, more creative, and more alive. But you know what's even more powerful than science? Story. Let me tell you one. There was a young woman named Layla. She had been through everything: abuse, abandonment, anxiety. Her nights were long, her mornings heavy. She thought of ending it more times than she could count. But one day she came across a meditation teacher who said only this: don't try to fix everything. Just sit quietly and repeat, I am light, I am safe, I am becoming. So she did, 5 minutes a day, then 10, then 20. No fireworks, no visions, just quiet. Until one morning, she didn't wake up in fear. She woke up in peace. Not perfect, but possible. Her life began to rebuild. Not from outside help, but from an inner blueprint she was quietly rewriting. You see, you have that blueprint too, but maybe it's been covered by noise, by opinions, by trauma, by the voice in your head that says, this is just how I am. But that voice, it's a program, and every program can be rewritten. So I want you to try something right now. Sit still, breathe slowly, and say this in your head, not aloud. I am safe. I am seen. I am starting again. Again. I am safe. I am seen. I am starting again. No one needs to hear it but you. And yet, every time you repeat it, the frequency ripples through your thoughts, through your nervous system, through the magnetic field around your body. This isn't fantasy, it's energy. Your heart produces the largest electromagnetic field in your body. And when your thoughts and emotions align, you literally broadcast a new signal into the quantum field. Dr. Joe Dispenza said it best. Your personality creates your personal reality, and your personality is made of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. So what happens when you change how you think and how you feel every morning? You change your reality. But here's the catch. Most people will never do it. They'll listen, they'll nod, maybe even get inspired. But when the video ends, they'll scroll, forget, return to old patterns, not because they're lazy, but because the voice inside is still louder than the truth, not you. You're still here, you're still listening, and maybe, just maybe, you're finally ready to whisper something different. Not for motivation, not for a quick fix, but because you know the real transformation doesn't come from outside effort. It comes from internal repetition. The voice that says, I'm not done yet. There's something more for me. I was made for something higher. And you are. In the next part, we go even deeper. You'll experience a guided meditation designed to bring your nervous system into harmony, to activate the creative centers of your brain, and to awaken the part of you that never forgot who you are. But before we get there, subscribe now. Share this video with someone who needs to remember. Because you weren't meant to walk this path alone. The 1% isn't about superiority. It's about remembrance. And now, you're part of it. Let's continue. You've come this far. Most people wouldn't. Most people don't. They hear a voice like this, feel a flicker of something deep inside, and then switch off. Because going inward is terrifying. Because silence reveals what the noise used to hide. But not you. You stayed, and now the door is opening. Let me ask you something strange. Have you ever walked into a room and felt something shift even before anyone said a word? That's the field. It's not superstition. It's coherence. When your heart and brain are aligned, when your thoughts, feelings, and intentions are in harmony, you don't just live in the world. You begin to shape it. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it the quantum field, the invisible space where possibility lives, where the old rules don't matter, where past does not equal future, where the version of you you've been afraid to believe in already exists. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to deserve it. You just need to match the frequency of that version. You can't create a new future while holding on to the emotions of the past. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Read that again, because that's where we break. We say, I want to heal, but we keep feeding the emotion of being broken. We say, I want to attract love, but our heart still whispers, I'm not enough. We say, I want a new reality, but every morning we repeat the old one in our head. It's not your fault. You were trained to think that way, but now you're untraining yourself. Let's go there right now. Wherever you are, pause. Close your eyes, feel your body, your breath, feel the beat inside your chest, reminding you you're alive, you're here, you're ready. Now, I want you to imagine a light, not a light you see, but a light you feel. It begins in your chest, warm, golden, expanding. With every inhale, it grows. With every exhale, it softens. And from that light, I want you to begin speaking, not out loud, but within. Whisper the truth your future self already knows. I am already becoming. I am no longer the old story. I allow myself to rise. Again, feel it. Not like a wish, but like a return. Because that's what this is. You're not becoming something new. You're remembering something ancient, something sacred, something you buried beneath years of survival. Breathe into that light. Let it fill your body. Let it pour into the spaces that hurt, the memories, the shame, the doubt. And as it does, you'll begin to feel something strange. Stillness. Not silence, stillness. The moment your mind stops reaching and your soul begins receiving. This is the gate. Now I want you to repeat this inside. I am aligned. I am open. I am already home. Say it again. Say it until your body believes, until your cells vibrate, until something inside you says, yes, yes. Because when you do this, something happens in the field, your side, something that science is just beginning to understand. But mystics have known for centuries. You draw the future to you. You don't chase it. You attract it. Like a magnet, like gravity, like destiny waiting for permission. Let me leave you with one last story. There was a man who came to one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshops, wheelchair-bound, paralyzed. Years of disappointment had hardened his heart, but something told him, try again. He closed his eyes. He said nothing aloud. He simply whispered inside over and over, I remember what it feels like to walk. Not, I want to walk. Not, please let me walk. But I remember. That was his frequency. Not of lack, but of already having it. And weeks later, doctors witnessed what they could not explain. Movement. First a toe, then a leg, walking. Now, I'm not saying you'll float or fly. I'm not promising magic, but I am telling you, your thoughts are instructions. Your emotions are activators, and your future is not waiting to be found. It's waiting to be felt. So right now, before this video ends, say it. In your head, I am choosing a new reality. I am already in motion. I am not waiting, I am becoming. And wait, the field is listening. So is your soul. You were never broken. You were just disconnected. Now you're plugged back in. And from this moment on, you don't go back. If this journey has opened something in you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, I am the 1%. Because this isn't just a video, it's a beginning, a frequency, and you're part of it now.